What's up, guys? We got a new job coming up here in supposed to be a couple months. Now it's got pushed back 4 or 5 months, but I needed to get a new tool in here because they want some really clean, crisp edges, and I think I have a faster way than like plasma cutting the edges, because you get like little ridges down the edge and then buffing them all down with the flap wheel is really time consuming and the edge isn't super straight. So I picked up one of these new saws that's supposed to cut through metal, and I'm hoping this gives me like a really nice clean edge. So I just have to kind of test the idea before going whole hog for the customer. If this doesn't work, I have some other things that will, but this is my first idea, and I've got kind of a cool project today. I'm gonna make my own planter. The ones for the customer are really boring and square, so I'm gonna do like this cool kind of geometric. It's actually a cube that I rotated like 120 degrees and then slice the top and bottom off in CAD. So I'm hoping it's kind of a cool design when it's all put together, but instead of laying everything out and trying to transfer it from CAD onto the plate, that process of layout would be pretty time consuming. So instead I just cut all the panels out of vinyl on our plotter here, and I'm just gonna throw these on the steel and use this as a template to cut all these complicated shapes, and then we'll push them together. One of the cool things about this saw is it's supposed to cut through like wood, copper, plastic, aluminum, mild steel, probably even stainless if it's thin enough. And it's a full functioning saw. You could totally cut this whole project out with a regular old zip wheel and a grinder, one of these. So you guys know what that means. As usual, I'm always trying to turn a buck. I will be selling these vinyl I guess plans, so you guys can just slap these on at your house and then cut this out and weld it up as you wish, and should be kind of a cool little weekend project here for spring. All my clients have planters on the mind, so I'm gonna make these for the front of our shop, and maybe we'll bring us some more business. So kills me every time. All right, let's go. Obviously, we're gonna need some material. I'm using 1/4-inch plate for this. You could really do this in any thickness metal that you have around. Go ahead and grab your vinyl sticker pack that has all your layout and start fitting it up on your sheet. All right, it's not sticking very well, so I'm gonna get some Windex and clean this up a little bit better, because this should work. The vinyl layout was lifting a little bit because of the dirt and grease that's left on here. I'm just using scrap, so there's even a little bit of rust built up. So you're definitely going to need to kind of Windex these a little bit, but you'll notice later on in the video where I actually have a hard time taking them off. So once the glue releases on the vinyl, that stuff is going to stay stuck down on there. So I'd almost like just transfer the lines with a marker or soapstone or something and then peel them off. That way it wouldn't be such a mess later. But however you guys want to do it, they'll work either way. You're definitely going to want a face shield. This saw throws some mad hot chips. Once you got your PPE on and your layout all done, you're ready to run the saw. And man, this is actually kind of exciting. It's super similar to building with like a sheet of plywood or something. I'm totally getting wood flashbacks using this thing, and it gives you a couple cool opportunities. You can actually set up a fence and you could make like a really nice perfectly straight cut, or you could even set this thing on miter and cut like a 45-degree bevel. So if you had like a 90-degree fit up somewhere, you could almost get like a wood style of joinery with your metal work, which opens up some really cool kind of opportunities. With all that being said, this is about where the fun stops with this saw. It just stopped cutting. Yeah. And as you guys saw, the saw just gave up the ghost. It's not really the saw itself. This thing is still running cool. It hasn't overheated. It's still cruising, but the blade has really kind of met its match here. So was cutting really well, and we got, let's see here. We got this whole piece right here cut out. We got this piece right here cut out. We got this piece almost cut out. Same thing here with this one's a couple edges. So I'll have to figure out how many cut inches that is through a 1/4-inch plate. So I'm pretty impressed, held up pretty good, but still not what I need for this project. So I'm gonna finish this up with a cutting wheel just to show you guys that you can, and weld it up, and it's still gonna be a cool planter regardless how it gets done. Right back here with Old Reliable. This guy never lets me down. This just goes to show you can't keep a good man down. We're gonna get it done regardless. This is actually kind of a flashback to when I used to build everything in my shop. I started with a cutoff wheel and a welder, and everything pretty much used to go down like this. All right, so everything was humming along really nice and straight and clean, just how I wanted with that saw. It just kind of ran out of teeth. Something I may have tried, I could have probably used some WD-40 maybe to make it last a little bit longer, but I was just powering through and trying to get this done. I was really excited with how clean and how fast everything was going. And then all of a sudden the blade just kind of like fell flat on its face and couldn't really cut anything else. So I switched over to the cutoff wheel and finished everything up. So the cuts aren't quite as clean as I wanted with the cutoff wheel, but still totally doable for this project. So the next step is, once you get all these pieces cut out, you can kind of take this vinyl off of here. We don't want it to burn when we're welding and whatnot. So this thing looks pretty crazy, and I was a little bit worried about how it was going to go together and how exactly I was going to fit it up. So I grabbed the laptop and was kind of looking at my original CAD model to see how to do this, and then I realized it's just a square. There's really nothing crazy here. I just chopped the top and bottom off of it, so if I just treat it like a big cube with a couple of triangles in it, that's pretty much all it is. So it makes this a whole lot easier to kind of visualize while you're trying to fit everything up. I went ahead and welded the whole thing out just so it's waterproof, and then I drilled a couple holes in the bottom for drainage because, you know, this is a pot for plants after all. And if playing with fire and saws and welders wasn't enough for you, why don't we play with some acid next? This is muriatic acid, guys. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses, goggles, gloves. You need a source of water nearby. If you don't have an eye wash station, you need a hose on and running. Don't wait till you have an emergency to turn the water on. Just turn it on. You're gonna need it anyways to rinse this stuff off. So just make sure you guys are safe. But what this does is it takes the mill scale off of steel. Instead of sitting there with a grinder for an hour, you can do 3 or 4 coats of straight up muriatic acid, rinse it off with water in between, and the mill scale will come off eventually. Just be careful, guys. From there, we use a Japanese brown from Sculpt Nouveau to get the rust started. I'm going to leave this unsealed, so it's going to continue rusting over the years, but I wanted to get it started because it's going out in front of the shop right now, and I need it to look cool right out the gate. So this will kind of get it started. See how fast that was? It literally takes like, I don't know, 10 minutes once the mill scale's off of it.